going to ask every one of you to just sit, relax, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Open your hearts and open your minds. And let's see if we can create magic together. All right, here we go. Some of you know me, and some of you are meeting me for the first time, and I'm not distracted easily, so it doesn't matter. I hope we can all pay attention. My name is Fenya and I'm an acupuncturist, and I have a clinic down the street in Montrose. And I was asked to do this, and I'm very appreciative, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. I love this. So about 15, 20 years ago, I was living in the lap of luxury. I had at that time everything anyone could have asked for. Had a husband, 2 beautiful kids, had money, the house, the car, you name it. The truth was that I was sick, I was bored, I was unhappy, I was unfulfilled, and that was killing me, literally, slowly. Through what I call divine intervention, I was put on my path. I decided to change, and change I did. I left my husband, started studying Chinese medicine and Rheumatology medicine, and most importantly, reunited with my spirit and my higher self. Studying medicine gave me a great deal of understanding as how the human body works. I understood the mechanism of disease, the progression of disease, learned to prescribe herbal remedies, do acupuncture, use food as medicine, and so on. I built a thriving practice in Montrose. There was something missing, still. My patients came to me eagerly, reporting their conditions, their pains, their aches. Generally, they felt better with the treatments, but not 100%. I began to analyze myself as a healer, as a practitioner. I was wondering, what was wrong? There was something missing. Why didn't they get healthy and stay healthy? The answer was obvious. My patients and my focus was on the fixing, not the healing. Although both Chinese medicine and Rheumatology medicine focus on the root cause of disease, I found that these modalities weren't enough. Something was missing. Now, living in our day and age of technology, where every question that may cross your mind is answered within seconds, via Wikipedia at least, it's really easy to self-diagnose. We just punch in a few keywords, and voila. A proper diagnosis, treatment, prognosis, and so on, right? People will generally come to me with self-diagnosed adrenal imbalance, gluten intolerance, hormonal imbalances, right? We're all familiar with those. My answer to which is, well, of course, we live in LA. Everyone is imbalanced, everyone. We can all go to Sprouts and Whole Foods, get our herbal formulas, liver detoxes, kidney detoxes, candida cleanses, eat organic foods, do our yoga, say our mantras. You get the picture. Then why is it that we still don't feel well? Why are we looking for the next bestseller on diets? Or the next guru who tells us to juice celery? This is the biggest craze right now. For the past couple of months, everyone's coming to me with stomachache. My first question, are you juicing celery? Yes. Well, stop juicing celery. Yeah. It's not good for us. Please, stop it. Coffee is good. Coffee is bad. This report, that report. We go to such lengths to clean, cleanse, cure, suppress, subdue, cut out disease from our bodies. To gain what? What is it that we're trying to do? Be healthy to live longer? But why? Rumi says, don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will be your cure. It is important, imperative to understand the why. Why do we create disease in our body? And we create it. The answer is simple. It's a cry for help. When a patient comes to me for the first time, one of the standard questions I ask is, who are you? The answer generally is, I'm a mom, I'm an architect, I'm a teacher, I'm a dancer. Who are you? Difficult. It's a very difficult question to answer, unless you've spent time alone with yourself, thinking, realizing, analyzing, to know the true essence of who you are, not what you've learned. But how do I do that, Fenya? Obviously, the next question, right? How do I really know who I am outside of who I think I am or should be? Science will tell us that we are made of about 77 trillion cells. This is true. We have a digestive, vascular, nervous, lymphatic, skeletal system, in addition to a few more things, obviously. The science is clear. Our genetics dictate our appearance, our propensity to certain diseases, and to a degree, our personality. We are created when the egg and sperm from our parents fuse together. When we die, our body decays, and that's about the extent of it. I beg to differ. We, as human beings, have a soul, spirit, a mind, and a physical manifestation in the form of a body. We as human beings are so much more than mechanical, scientific bodies. We as human beings feel. We have emotions, and our emotions govern us. Our emotions, better yet, unresolved emotions, are the precursor to our diseases. Whether we're suffering from serious illnesses or minor aches and pains, our disease mimics our personality. We all know people who are angry. They usually have a red face, bulging eyes. Don't look at me, that's not me right now. Okay, I'm just excited. And they will always have hypertension. Their anger causes their liver yang to rise. It causes their energy to rise, which means their blood pressure goes up. So your personality will dictate to a degree the disease that you're going to suffer. Of course, there are environmental things that will affect us, but this is generally how it is. This is one of the most dominant factors in traditional Chinese medicine. In TCM, we have 6 external pathogens that cause disease: wind, cold, heat, summer heat, phlegm, and dryness. Now, the interesting thing is that we have 7 emotional pathogens that cause disease. We have anger, fear, joy even. Too much joy can cause disease. Overthinking, grief, fright, sadness. Once we understand what caused the disease in our patients, sorry, I need my glasses. I thought if I print it really, really big, I can see it. Apparently I can't. Once we understand what caused the disease in our patient, then we treat them with herbs and acupuncture. Diagnosis is through the pulse, the tongue, and what we call the 10 questions. Clear. Morphology medicine is really interesting. There's a definite distinction between the lifestyle, what they call peak frequency lifestyle, and the diagnosis and treatment. I left the lifestyle a very long time ago. It just didn't work for me anymore. But the treatment method is phenomenal. Diagnosis in morphology medicine is through checking the map of the body through the soles of the feet and coming to an understanding, a diagnosis, let's say. Most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with reflexology. Morphology is similar, but we take morphology a few steps further. Once we find an organ system that is in trouble, then we'll recommend different foods, herbs, colors, and phytonutrients to help correct the issue. Following me? Now it's getting interesting. So up to this point, we've talked about how two separate forms of alternative medicine look at disease and what the treatment methods are. This is where I found that even these phenomenal modalities didn't do my patients justice. I'll tell you 2 little stories about my amazing children without embarrassing them too much. My daughter was about 4 years old, and she ran into my bedroom early one morning, and she jumped on the bed and she says, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." Like, "What's going on?" She says, "I know." I said, "What do you know?" She says, "I know the meaning of life." Well, obviously, I'm sitting crying. "What is the meaning of life?" She says, "It's happiness." She says, "I remembered everything until I popped out of you, but now I remember." Cool. Years later, I was sitting on my couch, really upset over a failed relationship, and my son, as he was playing his video game, he turns to me and says, "Mom, you know what the problem is with you?" I said, "I'm sure you're going to tell." He says, "The problem is that you always wait for life to happen. Why don't you live the one you have?" I raised them wrong. The meaning of life is happiness, and you need to live the life you have. I swear, Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle couldn't have said it better. I'd like to talk about true healing, or the spiritual aspect of healing now. A minute ago, I quoted Rumi. "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day, your pain will become your cure." I also said that disease is a cry for help. We are human beings who have a soul, a spirit, and a body. Focusing on healing or fixing the body alone is not enough. By the same token, healing only the soul and the spirit is not enough. Our body is the vessel that holds the soul for a period of time. It is obvious that we have to understand what our soul's needs are and what is not being met, what need isn't being met. This will help us understand how unresolved wants and needs manifest into physical ailment. Many of us have lost the connection between our soul and our body. We disregard our intuition and follow only tangible facts. By disregarding, almost discarding our intuition, we disregard and discard our body's cry for help. When the soul is in pain, the body suffers, and vice versa. Knowing how to feed and soothe the body and soul is key in true healing. Let me repeat. We need to know how and what feeds our soul and our body in order to have, not only have, but to maintain true health. Living in health-conscious Southern California, we are well aware of good nutrition. We know what balanced diet is. The problem is that we don't necessarily know what feeds our soul. The meaning of life is happiness, Mommy. Happiness feeds our soul. So what makes us unhappy? Unresolved emotions. From the moment we're born, we experience emotions. Actually, we feel emotions even in the womb. We experience life through our emotions, happiness, sadness, excitement, anger, and so on. When we're unable to express ourselves fully, when we're unable to have what we really want, when we feel helpless and hopeless, then we start accumulating negative emotional baggage. This negative emotional baggage attracts more negativity and difficulty. It's the law of attraction. We find ourselves drawing in exactly the same thing that we dislike, the same emotional pain that caused us pain in the past. We repeat the same pattern over and over and over again to almost prove that this negativity is who we are. I see this happen all the time. God knows I've done this in the past. It is human to feel anger, to worry, to grieve. It is also human to stay in that emotional state. We're used to it. I'm asking you and myself to rise above the human emotion and let go. To observe pain and understand that letting it go is the integral part of our growth. And growth is the purpose. How do we do that? By making one decision, the decision to change. The only constant in the universe, by the way, change is the only constant. I love that. When and only when we make that almost radical decision to change who we are, better yet, to unlearn how we've learned to behave, can we be free to live the life we were meant to live, or have the health we were meant to have. I see with my patients that the concept of change is the most difficult one to implement. They can usually follow my instructions, to take the herbs I recommend, to do acupuncture, even change their diets. But when it comes to changing their core habits, a little more difficult. I usually get a response like, well, if I could, I would. You can, you will, and you have, is my usual response. Not because I'm asking, but because change is your liberation. Liberation from boundaries, walls, and shackles that you put around yourself. Why did we do that? To protect ourselves from pain, disappointment, disillusionment. Rumi says, I obviously love Rumi. Rumi says, the wound is the place where the light enters. He also says, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. So friends, our emotional pain causes us not only suffering, but in time it creates physical pain and illness. We have to identify our true pain in order to eliminate its physical manifestation. Once we do that, then our diet, herbs, medicine, and any other healing modality will work permanently. True change is only possible when we fully understand and accept ourselves. So understanding and acceptance is key. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All of this makes us who we are. So let's not make excuses for being who we are. How do we accept ourselves? By showing and feeling compassion. Compassion towards ourselves and every being in this world. So I'm inviting you, each and every one of you, to make that one decision today. I'm inviting you to look at yourselves with love and compassion and use only kind words in yourself, with yourself, and about yourself. Trust that your intuition, or what I call your higher self, will only guide you towards your truth. Follow your heart, your God, your higher self, and no other human being. Know that you, your higher self, and your body have one purpose and one purpose only, in survival and growth. There's no other agenda. I hope you receive my words tonight. I hope that you will at least think about change if you feel that there's something that you need to change within you. I wish every one of you a happy, healthy, and long life, and blessings. Yes.
So, so much of this way of thinking and these type of, enlightenments, they bring you to a point where you feel you finish with compassion, where you feel like you have to express yourself in a way that you love yourself and that you love others around you. And I totally understand the value of that, and I almost want to get married to the ideology that could be an ever-present constant, which I know obviously perfection is impossible, so to make that standard would be kind of like an uphill battle I wouldn't want to climb.
Yeah.
But I still feel like, and I want you to either disagree with me or agree with me,
Sure.
or elaborate,
You know me.
that there's moments that you have to show your teeth, and sometimes that it's necessary to explore the human emotion of rage, and I'm referring to even towards someone else. So if you catch yourself like battling that emotion where you feel like on the daily you want to put someone in their place, for example, not me, obviously, because I'm just a child of love, but I have friends and I listen to their stories. So how do you recommend coming to grips with that and understanding more what that is in a primitive and spiritual format?
Excellent question. I was hoping somebody would ask that question. It is impossible to be perfect because perfection doesn't exist. And whoever claims they are, they're lying, period. It is absolutely human to get angry. It is absolutely human to say, to whatever you described right now, to feel all of those. What I'm asking your friend to do, not you, is when you're done getting angry, realize what happened and rise above it. Realize that it's okay. I'll do better tomorrow. That's my mantra. I'll do better tomorrow. I promise I'll do better tomorrow. As long as you stop judging yourself for it. Now, I'm not saying go out and fight everyone, because that's obviously not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is if it does happen, it's all right, because it's human, because you're human. So forgive yourself for it. Forget the other person. I never care about the other person. If I'm in a fight, I rarely get in fights, but it's not pretty when I do. Forgive yourself and learn what not to do the next time. That's really how I live, you know this, and what I preach. I don't really preach, but what I recommend. Forgive yourself and move on. And try not to repeat. And if you repeat, say, I'll do better tomorrow. Okay? But it's normal, because obviously we're human. How could not? Because it's impossible.
You know, how about to extend on that? You know that voice in your head that tells you that you have to do something, not because that's the right thing to do right now, but because you're seeing a habit in someone that you believe is unfavorable to the future of mankind. And you know you can avoid that scenario and not have to bring that up to that person, but something tells you that it might be worth teaching this person a lesson, even though it doesn't necessarily change much about how you're going to detour yourself from the scenario. But you have that drive to do it because you don't want this person to do something like this again, and you believe that you have the antidote to that.
All right. You know I love you, but there's ego in your statement. With all due respect. I will never talk to anyone and give my advice unless I'm asked to do it. Tonight I was asked to come here. Otherwise, I just shop here. You see? Why am I saying that? If you interfere with somebody's path, even if that path is not necessarily seemingly great to you, then you are derailing them from the lesson that they're about to learn. So who am I to interfere with your path? If you come to me, then I'll give you my advice. Otherwise, and this is not because I don't care. Obviously I care. Obviously I care about humanity. Obviously I care about the environment and what might happen and what is happening right now, right? But I have respect for every human being and their path. Even if their path is awful, even if they're, God forbid, murderers or whatnot. This is what they came here to experience and learn. And if I interfere, then I've interfered. Then it's on my karma. Then it's on me. You see? So to each their own, really. This is my opinion, obviously. You do with it as you feel, what
Sure.
it resonates.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Cool?
Cool. But my friend's pissed.
Yes.
Switching to another plane on the physical level.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about phyto-nutrient therapy? I mean, if you are already like suffering from illness,
Sure.
and there is the emotional trigger, as you were saying, or the
Of course,
underlying
of
thing,
course.
But as far as like foods, or, you know, things that we can do to heal ourselves? Or...
Absolutely. Let me get my water. And I'll be right there. Sure, food is medicine. Food is medicine. And it should be. The problem with food being medicine is it doesn't work as fast as Tylenol. It doesn't work as fast as, you know, medication, even herbal remedies. But once we use food as medicine, then the results are permanent, because then we're changing the environment of our body. And that's what needs to change. If we mask something, then obviously we're masking it. The problem still is there. We're not treating it. Phytonutrients, nutrients in general. I believe that herbs, fruits were put here on earth. My belief, you know, I'm not preaching, were put here on earth to almost serve us. This is why the answer to every disease is within the nutrients of specific foods. Some foods have more nutrients than others, obviously. For instance, raw herbs, a lot more nutritious than McDonald's. Right? It's obvious. So knowing and understanding what the body needs, what enzymes, what nutrients, what amino acids, knowing those things and putting it together and creating out of your daily eating habits or daily foods, creating a remedy, let's say to attend to your stomach. Let's say we eat papaya, it has bromelain. Let's say we eat turmeric, it has curcumin. All these things, to use them as an anti-inflammatory, boosting energy, boosting bowel movements, then this will help fix the ailment that you're having. It does take a long time, but once it works, it's permanent. Does this make sense?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So is it important to eat well? Well, obviously, of course it's important.
In your treatments, do you address this as far as, like, let's say someone coming in?
Absolutely, absolutely, because it's a major part of healing. Because even that will help our soul, will help our spirit. So it's not, for me, the soul, the spirit, the body, they're not different. So when I'm treating somebody, and really this is what I've found in my experience, when I'm treating somebody, I have to treat all of them, not just a part of them. Treating one part is not a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution. Then I invite them to go elsewhere to get quick fixes. I don't believe in it, so how can I do it if I don't believe in it? So I have to address every aspect of the person, because every aspect of the person has caused the disease, not just one.
Can you talk a little bit? I'm sorry.
No, of course.
We all get to.
About radiology, because I know about, you know, Eastern medicine and whatnot, but radiology is new, completely new. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Morphology medicine, I was an intern at school. I have to tell you the whole story so that you understand how this came about. I was an intern at school, and this gentleman came in with thyroid cancer. And my supervisor was standing behind me, and I'm standing there all eager, and he says, I have thyroid cancer, can you do something with it? I said, well, of course. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, he should just stop lying, because I just could feel this from him. And then I just felt the pull, and my supervisor was pulling me. He says, can I talk to you outside for a second? And he scolded me. He says, you can never tell people with cancer that you can help them. We support, as acupuncturists, we support through cancer treatments. We can't cure, fix, or do anything else other than support. I said, sure. Went back and apologized. He says, you know, I want you to meet somebody. And long story short, I met Dr. Morning Spirit Wolf. She, along with her husband, collected morphology medicine from indigenous people. It's a collection of different healing modalities. And they created a school. And I started taking classes with her and studying the medicine. When I said it's a lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle, you have to change really everything about yourself to be a part of almost a cult of people who are peak frequency. I couldn't do it because I couldn't. As far as the treatment modality, the treatment itself, it's really interesting. I can check everything about you and your body through the soles of your feet and tell you exactly what's going on in your system. And it's not magic. It actually is based in Chinese medicine, the feet, and in anatomy and physiology. Every nerve ending in our body ends up on the soles of the feet. So by knowing the map of the body through the soles of the feet, I can press on certain points and tell you your liver function is about 65%. And almost 100% of the time, I get to the right answer. And based on what we find, then we understand what the body needs. So it's not enough. Let's say your liver is not functioning very well. It's not enough for me to give you herbs and foods for the liver. Yellow squash is excellent for the liver. It just revives it unbelievably. Or hawthorn leaf is excellent to fix the liver. I need to understand what your body requires. If I fix the liver and not understand that the stomach needs to be healed first in order to absorb the nutrients, to bring the nutrients to the liver, then everything I give you will be a waste of your money and you won't be very happy. So getting a good understanding of how the body works through the soles of the feet is really the basis of morphology medicine. We use a lot of colors in morphology medicine. I notice your colors and I love them. We use a lot of foods, a lot of herbs, way of thinking, changes in your habits. But I've changed it quite a bit from the time that I learned it 12 years ago. Just to kind of fit it to who I am and how I treat people. More?
Probably, but I'll
let
let somebody else. Always, right.
Sleep issues as we get older. I
Oh,
fall
oh, oh.
asleep great, but I don't go back to sleep too great.
All right. I want to ask how old you are.
You can.
So don't
I'm
tell
not
me.
embarrassed. I just turned 60 in April.
Wow.
Better at 60 than I was at 40.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, 60 years old. And so how many hours is sufficient?
Well, I keep hearing, you need more sleep, you need more sleep, you need more sleep. And it's like, yeah, but how do you go about getting quality sleep? I'd say maybe 5 to 6. I'm getting 6 hours on a good night.
That's excellent. Listen to your body. Really. Putting stress on yourself because you're not sleeping well, because you're not sleeping 8 hours, is terrible. Sleep your 6 hours and just be happy. If you feel like taking a nap, please do. So it's not, nothing is, these rules are really just standards that we kind of sort of need to follow. But your body will tell you, if you're tired, you're going to sleep. Now, if you have insomnia, that's a little different. But if you're not sleeping 8 hours and you feel it's not sufficient because you're being told, I don't believe that. I believe you would know.
You're right, a lot of it. I think, oh no, I'm not doing healthy. No wonder I've got this and this going on.
No. If there's this and that going on, then we can always talk about what this and that is. But if it's just the sleep, then I believe 6 hours is sufficient. I'll be so happy if I get 6 hours these days. Like, yay, I got 6 hours.
Yeah, it actually becomes the fear of, I'm not going to sleep that well. Oh, so I'm going to take my valerian when I get up at 2 a.m.
Oh, please do. Valerian is good.
I like valerian.
Yeah.
Is a great thing.
Yeah. Valerian's awesome. If you feel like sleeping, do. If you don't, don't. Don't put stress over.
It takes the pressure off now that I think
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. It's really not necessary to feel pressured. It really isn't. So always ask yourself, what does my body say? I want to teach you a little trick. Does everybody know what muscle testing is? Yes? Excellent. Excellent. So you know what the tip test is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't? All right. So this is really cool. Let me explain this to you. So a minute ago, we talked about us having 77 trillion cells. Remember? I kind of threw it in there because I was hoping somebody would ask, so what do those cells do? Every cell carries energy. Now, we're not the only beings in this world. Plants, a second ago I was talking about plants. Plants have energy, right? So when you want to test something, human beings, my son's girlfriend. How many times have we met somebody and we stand next to them and we're really drawn? We're like, oh, I'm so happy. This is really good. And how many times, I do love you, have we stood next to somebody and we're like, oh gosh, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, where's the door? Huh? Sometimes energies are attracted to each other. Sometimes we're repelled, or energy repels itself to people. So tip testing is really important. Muscle testing is really important. I'm going to combine these two. Let's say you're at Sprouts wanting to buy valerian, and you don't know, there's like 5 valerians there, and you don't know which one is good for you. What I recommend you do is, now this takes practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's really awesome. So you're going to take the valerian in your hands, and you're just going to stand and try to stop thinking, try to stop analyzing, and try to stop really feeling or thinking which one is better, because this one's more expensive. This is $22.50, so it's got to be better, not necessarily. All right. So hold it in your hand. If you tip forward, then it's a positive energy. Your body likes it. You're tipping forward. I apparently need Lawa. If you kind of take a step back, put it down, and walk away, it's really not good for you. And if you stand neutral without moving forward or backwards, it's neutral. You can take it or leave it. It works 100% of the time. All you need to do is practice. So next time, and even with words, do I need 6 hours of sleep? All right? Now, this is what Fenya says. Fenya is not God. You know, you test it. You see if it works for you. I need 6 hours of sleep. I need 8 hours of sleep. See, I need 8 hours of sleep, but I only get 6 because I have a crazy cat. It keeps me awake. Muscle testing is very important and very useful. I use muscle testing, where's Marissa? I use muscle testing when checking the feet, when checking the truth, herb, a state of being in refology medicine. The muscle that I use to test, because a lot of chiropractors actually do this, God bless them. They'll have you hold something or think of something and try to drop your arm, right? And then if you're feeling well, if the thing is good for you, then you're stronger. Tip testing, again. Sometimes there's mind behind these tests, which means if your chiropractor, your acupuncturist thinks that this is really good for you, you know, something might change. And I don't want that for my patients. So I check the gut part on the sole of the foot. Can I do a demonstration, if you don't mind, so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about? Yeah, take your right shoe off. I don't care. Just have a seat there. If you wish, just pay attention for 1 second. I'll show you what I check. So on the sole of the feet, this part, the center part is the gut. So by checking the muscle here, I can come to a conclusion. We can come to a truth. She can't control this muscle, and I can't control that muscle. So it's only the body and the soul who talk to me, right? So this way, I can tell her with 100% certainty that valerian is good for her, or sleeping 6 hours a day is good for her. And this way, I can't make a mistake, I can't hurt her, and she can't keep the truth from me, which is really good. So let me see if she loves my son, huh? All right. Did I answer the question? I get carried away, so please stop me. Apparently, I don't like talking at all. Questions? Excellent. Really, if there are no questions, yes, please.
So if someone was coming to you,
Mhm.
how would you decide the steps? In other words, not that anything's written in stone, I'm
No.
just saying, do you do the feet first and then
Not necessarily.
then feel if the person needs acupuncture or, you know, some other treatments, or of course you're testing for the herbs,
Yes,
but
yes.
how do you progress?
That's a really good question. If somebody comes to me and they know for sure that they want me to do refology, they want me to check their feet and give them herbs and tell them exactly what's going on in their system. If they know exactly what they want, then I'll say, all right, so the first session is 2 hours. This is what we're going to do. I'll take a history. We go back to childhood, by the way, because everything starts on the first 7 years of life. Everything that we're dealing with today starts there. And we come up to the present. If people call me and say, I really don't have any idea what I want, I just know that there's something. I just know that I kind of need to see you, and my friend Susie told me that it's, you're good, and I want to come talk to you. Then I do a half-hour consultation. In the half hour, when we start talking about you and what's bugging you, what's hurting you, then we can come up with a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if it's a digestive, if it's a serious illness, chronic illness, then we'll start with reflexology. Then I'll check your feet and then move forward. You might need herbs, you might need acupuncture, a combination, or nothing. Sometimes awareness is all you need. So I don't push necessarily to do anything as long as the patient, I truly mean this, as long as the patient is happy and feels better, my job is done. Otherwise, with acupuncture, sometimes, pains, acute pains, obviously digestive issues, acute digestive issues, then they need intervention right there and then, so we go through acupuncture. Okay? Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, dear.
Do you find that you generally go along with the medical community? For instance, if someone came to you and said, I have cancer, and you would say, I don't feel there's any cancer in you at all. I mean, would you actually take that step if you believed it, or would you go along with what the medical community is saying?
Jennifer. I trust my intuition. It doesn't mean you need to trust my intuition. I'm true to myself, and I'm true to how I treat my patients. So if I feel that there's no cancer in somebody's body, I'll say, I feel that there's no cancer in your body, so maybe we should say the cancer instead of my cancer. And sometimes just that belief that it's not my cancer, it's the cancer, helps the patient. So just being true to myself, it doesn't mean I'm going against, maybe I am, I'm generally not an ismist person. I don't like labelings, I don't. So just because it's the doctor with the white coat or the other acupuncturist or the other healer, it really doesn't, I have to trust something, and my trust helps you trust me. And if I doubt myself, not great, right? So I trust my intuition. Yes. Yes, dear.
Do you have ways to feed the soul?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Yes, of course we have ways to feed the soul. Understanding, thinking. Think. In order to feed your soul, you have a beautiful soul, by the way. I can see. I have this X-ray vision. I see things. You need to understand your soul and your wants and needs, right?
Yeah. Easier said.
No, it's actually quite easy. I have a formula. A solution. Take a piece of paper. Draw 3 columns. Needs, wants, non-negotiables. What your needs? Your needs will be like this long, and your wants, I really want a yacht. But, a little boat will do when I really need it. Or I want a mansion, but a room will do. I need love, but I want this and that. So lucky is the person whose wants and needs are the same. And your needs will always feed your soul. So I'm inviting you, everyone, go home and take a piece of paper, pen, 3 columns. Needs, wants, non-negotiables. What is it in this world that you will not compromise? You will not negotiate? For me, it's my word. A minute ago, Jennifer asked me, do you go against this and that? I don't need to fight them. but I don't need to agree with them. So I don't break my word. I don't compromise on that. That's my non-negotiable. My needs, small. My wants, actually, well, simplicity. So when you simplify, really simplify, get to the core, get to the core. If you've gotten here, simplify more. If you've gotten there, simplify it even more. Get to 1, 2, or 3 things. And understand that those are the things that are going to feed your soul. Generally, it's love, family, community. These are the things that feed our soul. Other than that, it's a want that's being fed. You see? Does this sit well? Yes.
Human growth hormone. That's also another thing I've been learning since keto diet. And you need more sleep to create. It's the youth hormone, and if you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to have enough human growth hormone. It's the anti-aging hormone. Is that your
What
your
happens
take on
when
it?
you stop taking those?
I won't take any hormone.
Don't.
Not going
Because it may work at that moment, but just imagine what's going to happen once you stop.
You go right. Maybe worse. You end up.
Definitely worse, because at that point your body has gotten so lazy. Your pituitary gland,
Yeah.
which is the one that produces the human growth hormone, has gotten so lazy that it's not going to be able to produce that anymore. Now you're going to be in more trouble. You're going to gain more weight. And your mind, this is your crown chakra, that's going to close off completely.
Is it the same as melatonin? Because I don't want.
Melatonin works on the pineal gland.
Yeah, 'cause
Melatonin is the natural substance that the pineal gland produces.
Right.
For sleeping, for some people it works if it's a pineal gland issue, but if it's an overthinking issue, then, or a cat issue, melatonin is not going to work.
Yeah. But is it the same thing? If you take too much melatonin, you stop producing it? Is that?
Yes, that is true.
You have to be careful of
That, but
too much
very,
of that.
very careful. So
Yeah.
herbs, a minute ago I was talking about always going to sprouts. I mean, I've done that too. It's really, I have. And getting this supplement, that supplement. Just because it's a supplement, just because it's an herbal remedy, it doesn't mean that it's good for you. So tip testing is always really important. And it doesn't mean the dosage is correct. So again, tip test. If it's not good for you, even if, what's his name, the medical medium says it's excellent, I don't know if it's good for me. You know, this is my best friend in the world, and you know, she's great for me. I don't know if she's great for my son's girlfriend, who I'm not sure.
Pull your foot out.
Right? Does this help? Yeah. I can't tell you for certain if it's good for you or not because I don't know. I feel not. But up to you. You tip test.
It works, but I don't want to overdo it.
Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Everything in moderation. Really, everything. Even talking in moderation, you guys. But everything in moderation. Yeah. Don't overdo anything because you don't want your body to get lazy. Because the body is the weirdest thing. The minute we sit down, it's like, all right, can I just stay seated, right? So the body's like that. Don't allow your body to get lazy. Make sure that it works. Thinking about health, really centering yourself and talking to your organs, not in public, maybe you know, at night in your bed. Talking to your organs will really help align them, because then every organ will kind of feel responsible, and this happens 100% of the time. Yeah. Yes.
It's a little bit of a loaded question, but, you know, if we're aware of certain things, our emotions, anger, or whatnot, it doesn't matter, but we have a certain amount of awareness. We know what issues we need to work out on a conscious level, but then there's so much of our emotion on an unconscious level, or things that maybe happened to us when we were, 8 years old, or just really deep down.
It's beyond our conscious mind, then seeking help would be good. And making sure that whoever is helping you will be there to hold you while you're going through the process. I see this in my community, in the healing community, that sometimes they might start something and not necessarily be able to, so to speak, finish it. And the patient, the person is left with all these raw emotions and they don't know how to collect it. So do your research. Make sure that whoever you go to will be able to carry you through your process. And the process is ready. I if it's your friend, you know, somebody's friend, whoever, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it's your process, but whoever is ready to change, the change is there. Whoever is ready to release all these emotions from childhood on, it's possible.
So you're saying the way will be found
The
if
way
we're
is
searching for
found.
it? Yeah.
The way is found. We just need to be able to see it. Usually through this is how I do things, at least for myself, through meditation and really going in and getting rid of the layers one by one, facing each one of them one by one. You're able to get to the core of it. Once you get to the core, then you decide what you want to do. Whether you want to open it up or let it dormant, sit there. Because there's ways around it. Just because it's there and you don't want to take it out, it doesn't mean it should hurt you. Looking at it with compassion, saying, all right, so this is what I have, this is what's caused this, that, and the other in my body. 4 years later, what do I do? I don't have time. I'm working, I have kids, I have this, I don't have time to fall for it, which is very understandable. And if I open it up, I'm going to fall for it. Then there's ways, at least what I do with my patients, then there's ways to deal with this whole situation. I hope you'll receive what I'm trying to say. Yeah. We're done?
How'd you get so pretty?
Ask my mom.
There it is.
Thank you, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Wonderful exchange of mind and thought.
Thank you.
And hope to see you soon. Good night.